Typical Queensland weather once again. It is one day after that massive big sunny weekend of Matsuri. The next day, a 100% chance of rain. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't complain. What's up guys, I hope you're all having an amazing day. My name is Zach and this right here is my R33 Skyline. Now originally I was going to take the Falcon out and go do some mountain runs because I know how much you guys love to just hear that turbo whistle up through the mountains. So originally that was the plan, however with the tyres I have on it and just the rain and everything else as well, just wasn't an option because I did not want to bin my car today. It wasn't on my list of things to do today. So we might wait just one more day before we take the Falcon out. But today I have some stuff that I really wanted to do to the Skyline to make this thing drift worthy. After going to Matsuri, I am so keen to get out there for spring. So yeah, I got to get this car ready to go. So I'm going to show you guys some parts we're going to be installing today. So whilst I was in Japan a few weeks ago, I actually picked up some of these. Now a lot of you guys might not know what these are. These are Project Mu D1 spec pads for the handbrake. So with the R33 Skyline and in terms of tracking and drifting and everything, I wanted this to still be streetable. So that meant keeping it cost effective and reliable. So that means going with a dual caliper setup and a massive hydro just wasn't an option with this build. I was actually recommended these pads by Sam because this is what he uses in his R33. And after actually using them in his car and drifting, these things are just going to be perfect for what I need. So apparently they last about 2 years, which is awesome. He's had his for 2 years and they only just started to show signs of wear, which is amazing. And usually you can't get these D1 spec pads in Australia under $300. Luckily for me, and being in Japan, I used Amazon over there and they managed to ship me these out for $161. That was it. So I got a really cheap deal on these, which was awesome. And yeah, today we're going to be installing them. So I've heard that the Z32, R33, the whole Skyline sort of handbrake assembly is just a pain to work with. I have watched a few videos, so I think I know what I'm doing. But yeah, don't take this as like a how-to or anything. This is just going to be me doing it myself, seeing how it goes. It's the first time I've ever done it. So yeah, surely it shouldn't be too hard, but apparently it's just fiddly and annoying. So today we're going to be completely ripping apart that whole assembly. Yeah, let's see how we go. Alright, so this process here today should be fairly straightforward. I've already got both the wheels off and I'll quickly show you guys what we're going to be doing. So the handbrake shoes inside the Skylines, they're pretty good, but sometimes they just aren't grippy enough. So what we're going to be doing, taking off the caliper, taking off the rotor, slipping this all back, and then we're going to be replacing the handbrake shoes inside here. So I'm hoping to God that these aren't seized, but luckily they do include two little threaded holes there, so that way you can kind of like put two nuts in and push the rotor off. But yeah, today we're going to be trying to get inside here and take the shoes off, put new ones on. So the way that we're going to be doing that, we're going to be getting inside the car really quickly, taking down the handbrake and basically taking all the pressure off that right there. Also going to be adjusting this to sort of wind the shoes back a little bit, take the disc off, and then yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing stuff until it all works. So yeah, let's get that sorted. Alright, so first of all, this little nut down beside the handbrake, I'm going to wind all the way to the top. That's going to relieve some pressure off the handbrake. It actually looks like it's wound down pretty far at the moment, so I could imagine this handbrake's seen a lot of initiations, I guess. So yeah, what we're going to be doing, winding it up to the very top, so that way relieve all the pressure off the handbrake, and then we should be able to slide the disc straight off. Alright, so the nut's now at the very top. I'll drop the handbrake. Oh, there's nothing in that at the moment. Drop the handbrake all the way down, and then we'll get to the back. I'm so glad those weren't stuck on there. Oh yeah, let's get to the other side. Alright, so now that the disc is off, all I'm going to do is pretty much undo these two little, they're kind of like, I think they're called anti-rattle sort of springs. That one there is bent like crazy. Probably shouldn't use that one again. Alright, and then I just need the other one, which this is super hard to move. Actually, probably be better if I ended up maybe taking it out of gear, might be easier. And this one here is also bent. So I don't know where I'm gonna get new ones of them. And then also take off these two springs at the top, these two at the bottom, and then hopefully the entire thing should fall neatly apart. I don't know, we'll see how we go. Alright, so the next thing we're going to also be doing is trying to get rid of this circlip right here. Now it is a pain to undo, but I think I might have the right tool for it. It's not going to be pretty, but I'm going to get rid of it because we're going to be reusing this arm right here. So we need to basically take this one off here. My lordy, I've made a mess. Alright, so I just got the tiny little annoying as hell circlip off. So now what we're going to be doing is installing that arm onto these ones here. So I think I may have gotten the wrong side. Let's go get the actual side that works. Okay, there we go. So this arm here connects back into there. And then the circlip and the washer have to go back on top of there. So let's do that right now. Back on the washer. Rightio, so this side here, we now have our two sides here, which is awesome. Cool. Yeah, sick. Oh yeah, I remember now. Alright, I got this stuff. I think the assembly process is what everyone has been telling me is the most annoying thing in the history of the world. But you know what, we're just gonna send it, see how we go. Alright, so that's one bit there. Alrighty, so this right here was the biggest pain in the ass I have ever had to endure on this R33 so far. So pretty much the only issue I was having was because this is actually in the way, it makes it so much more difficult to sort of get around and work things out. I followed a really good instructional video by GK Tech, and basically what they did was, down the bottom here, they did all that sort of stuff, and they didn't really show you how to work around this, especially when it was already on the car. So I quickly got this from the other side as well, just so I can sort of show you guys. This basically is the handbrake adjustment. So what it does is it moves out, like when you obviously rotate this right here from the outside, it moves out and in. But it comes apart just like this, like it's not connected in any way. Usually they'd try and be connected in that way, they can sort of move around in there, but this one here isn't. So what I had to do was inside here, I took it both apart. I kind of did it in like 3 stages. So the first thing I did was I put the spring in. I had to do that first because it was sitting above the adjuster. And then I really had to like force this shoe back, and that way I could get in this half of the adjuster and wedge it in there. And then I had to grab this little pin, pull it out again as hard as I could without having it snap all on me, and then put this other section in and then put it back in. I'm gonna know for the next side what to do now, but yeah, just in case any of you guys did need to know whilst the actual hub is on as well. The other thing I had to do was I had to put the bracket that spaces out the pads in first before I did any of this stuff up the top, which made putting these in super difficult. So I had to put the bracket with the spring on first, clamp them both together, pull the springs on one side, pull the spring on the other side, and then that was all good to go. So now she's all in, ready to go. Now I can put the brake disc back on, and from there we should be able to adjust it, and then I'll go to the other side. Alright, so this one here, I'm going to try to time lapse the entire thing so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm sorry if the clip's really long, but yeah, this is what I have to work with, so let's do that. Alright, that there is done. Oh man, I cannot believe that. So the other side took me probably about half an hour. I dare say this side, actually I should check the clip. I think it took me about 11 minutes this side, now that I sort of knew what I was doing. Alright, so now I'm going to quickly pump the handbrake a little bit, pull them back and forward, and hopefully this should all move. Alright guys, so next step, chuck the disc back on and then we've got to adjust the handbrake. Then we should be ready to do some mad legal handbrake tests. So yes, let's adjust this right now. Alright, so now both the left rear and the right rear have both been adjusted, and now the handbrakes are just very, very lightly touching the discs. So now we're going to jump inside, adjust the handbrake lever, and then we should be all good to go test this out. And what better day to go test out a handbrake. Alright, so now to spend a little bit of time in the car just adjusting the handbrake. So now if you guys can see, it sort of goes up to about there before it starts to grab. Before it came like all the way up to like here. But yeah, now it kind of goes to there, and that's when it starts to grab. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go put the wheels back on, we're going to put the calipers back on, drop the car down, and then go test out the handbrake, and then we can adjust it from down in here if need be. But yeah, I'm super stoked with how good this has come out. Finally so happy to have a working handbrake too. That's awesome. Okay, so as I literally jumped straight in the car, I noticed that you guys can kind of see it still comes up way too far. So I'm gonna have to quickly adjust that and yeah, quickly tighten up the cable, and then we should be good to go. So I've already noticed one thing, so yeah, let's do that quickly now. Man, I love this car so much. Rightio, so we're in a very quiet area. Let's see how this goes. Okay. We didn't even lock up the tires, so we need to do a little bit more adjustment, it seems. Alrighty, so I couldn't seem to find any issues with the installation. I pulled the rear wheels off, did tighten the handbrake again, went back out again to see if I could try and get them to lock up. Yeah, it just turns out that I haven't done anything wrong, but what I might do next time is I might pull those discs off, maybe like within a week or so after they've kind of like, after the pads have kind of bedded in and cleaned out the inner surface of the discs. I might take the disc off and just have a look, see if there's anything or any issues there. Because I didn't take the disc off today, I just could not be bothered, and I have a lot of stuff to do, including cleaning and stuff like that, which I have to do today, plus a lot of stuff for ZB socials, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, another reason, I also had a chat to Gene and also Sam. Sam said that because I am running at the moment 265s in this, yeah, 265s, 9.5 inch wide rims, yeah, no, that's just, it's going to be pretty grip. And also the fact that I was only going probably about 50-ish, 40, 50 k's an hour, and ripping the handbrake, he said his car would do the exact same, it would not lock up, you got to do it extremely fast, and it just, you know, it's just not going to work. So that could be potentially another reason, it's just because my car's actually gripped up at the moment, which is fair enough. So yeah, might try with the other smaller tires on it and just see how that goes, but I might just wait a couple of days before I do that. And then there might have also been a possibility that my handbrake cables are also worn out and stretched. Shouldn't be too much of an issue considering that I was able to set everything up perfectly, so I don't see there's an issue there, but yeah, I don't know, guess we'll find out. So yeah, let's give it a couple of days, let's see how we go, and we might actually get this whole thing sorted. Next plan of attack, if it doesn't work, take off those discs and clean up all those things. If that doesn't work as well, new handbrake cables. I'll do everything while the engine and the trans is out the car, just make it so much more easy. Yeah. It's a lot of different things I can look into, and luckily it's not too expensive. There's also might be a possible sponsorship which might be coming through from VMAX Brakes to see if we can get some new discs on the back of this thing, possibly front and rear. So I don't know, we'll work something out and yeah, get this car ready to go. Alrighty guys, I want to give a massive thank you to each and every one of you who watched this video. If you did like it, please do leave a like. I'd really love to hear your feedback down in the comments as well. And yeah, if you guys like my content, yeah, please consider subscribing because I really enjoy doing this sort of stuff. Anyway guys, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. I'll see ya.